What's up guys, welcome back to KingBarra. Now picking up right where we left off in the last episode, we've just finished our gated column shifter concept. We've pulled the gate that we manufactured out so that while the car is at fabrication we can actually spend some time getting this drawn up on CAD so that we can get someone to actually produce it for us and actually manufacture it. So that's the idea. So it's Sunday afternoon now, it's about 2 o'clock. Car's getting picked up tomorrow morning by Millsy to go down to Ryan to get fabrication done. So it's now time to pretty much get this dummy engine and our gearbox and everything back in the car, get our radiator and stuff back in, basically get everything we've got here back in the car so that it can go to fabrication and get the exhaust and everything done. Now we're still waiting for our intake manifold and our new intercooler from Zoo Performance, which should hopefully be here early in the week. So this gets picked up tomorrow, which is Monday, goes down there. On Tuesday, I'm taking our diff housing back to Full Throttle Customs to get the coilover brackets sorted out. Wednesday, gonna have the day off because we deserve it. Been working every day for frickin' ever. And then Thursday, we're gonna actually go down to Ryan at Elite Fabrication, do a little bit of a feature of what he's doing to this car and show you a little bit of Ryan's workshop and his work. Rightio, Barra's back in, Turbo 400's back in. You can see this is what the cable route is gonna pretty much be like, back up to here. So now Ryan's got this all in situ to make sure that when he builds his dump pipe, it's not gonna be anywhere near it, but there he is. Yes. So while the car's still here, we thought we'd just try and somewhat dummy up and get a little bit of an idea of how this is going to go with the intercooler. Just using the 100mm core that we've got here. It's exactly the same dimensions as the 75 that's on the way, it's just that the 75 is smaller. But these holes should still be in the same spot. You know, we should be able to visualize exactly what's going on, which is what we're doing. So this is what Rex has got. That's pretty much where our cooler holes. So we haven't decided yet whether we're actually going to cut these out now or whether we're going to wait and do them down at Ryan's workshop. Because it depends on whether Ryan wants to actually weld like some donuts on the end of the actual cooler tank, or whether he wants to actually put the joins here just at the end of the pipe. It sort of does depend a fair bit on how big this hole has to be. It may not have to be this big depending on how Ryan would like to do the fab. Plus, obviously Ryan's done heaps of intercooler installs on H series Holdens and stuff like that, so I actually wouldn't mind having a bit of his input as well. You know, we're happy to have his input too. He definitely knows what he's doing, so I would like to basically just leave it the way it is and we'll just cut them when we go down to his workshop when we have the cooler. Righto guys, so I had a bit of a play around with Fusion. It is not really the best piece to be trying to relearn how to use these softwares because it's quite complicated. This thing, bonnet's back on. That's as far as the bonnet's going down now. This is the first time we've actually refitted the bonnet since the engine mounts were actually completely fabricated and everything was finalised. So it is sitting just a little bit higher, obviously, where we had to clear that that's drag link. That extra little bit we brought it up. But it's still, it looks to me like it's still enough for us to get it with just cutting some of the bracing out. It's not really that far, it's got to come down. Much less than it was before, like the last time. So I think with that bracing cut out, it should be fine. So apart from that, this thing is at this stage where it's ready to go to Ryan for fab tomorrow. So the only other thing we're going to do at the moment is just have a really good look and think and go through the car and try and figure out exactly what we want to do as far as our fuel system and all that is concerned, because we don't have any of the fittings or lines for this thing yet. So I want to order all of that while this is at fab, so that when it gets back here, we've got everything we need here to continue on with the project and get it sorted. So that's the plan. So we'll go through that now, make a bit of a list, and that'll be Sunday. Done. Go home. All right. Huey's getting loaded up, ready to go off to fab. Got Millsy here, taking care of it. The old enthusiast towing. So obviously Millsy, he's an enthusiast. You might recognise him from Skid Factory or Nugget Garage or anywhere else you watch YouTube with cars.
Definitely not King's Cross.
Not King's Cross. So anyway guys, if you're in Southeast Queensland and you're looking for someone to tow your Pride and Joy that's going to actually care about it and not just skull drag it and damage things, get onto Enthusiast Towing. He's got a Facebook page, go and check it out. So he's pretty much in charge of towing this whole HQ everywhere it goes. And he's the one that actually picked it up from Townsville and brought it down here for us. So it's going to be such a sick car when it's finished. Righto, so getting this under control. Pretty much got this piece ready for a 3D print for a prototype, which is cool. Alright, so there was a little issue with the first design which I had to change, but I fixed it now, and I've exported this along with this bracket, and this is the pin. I've sent it down to Sam there at Whitey's Wiring so you can 3D print the prototypes. Contemplating potentially getting this one CNC'd, just because of this car and what it's for, but it probably wouldn't be financially viable to have this as a kit CNCing that piece. It's too expensive. I'd have to look at someone who could laser cut it and then bend it up out of some plate. Talk to a few people about manufacturing and we'll see what we're going to do. But at least we can get a 3D printed version here and fit it up to the car when it gets back and see if it's going to fit. Alright guys, just got back. I've had just a big day of just driving around. Just left home at 6 o'clock in the morning and just been driving all day again. So many of these days have gone into this car. It's just outrageous. But anyway, the diff is sorted. So a huge big thanks to Damien and the boys there at Full Throttle Fabrications in Beenleigh. Full Throttle Customs, I should say, is the business. Damo there's an absolute G. Sorted it out straight away. Just did it while it was down there. So I just had to kill some time while I was down there. But that actually worked out all right. So that's ready for when the car comes back. Thank you so much to those boys. That's freaking awesome. We've got, on the way back up from down there, I actually picked up our prototype from Sam there at Whitey's Wiring. So I was drawing this up and I was like, oh, who's got a 3D printer that'll be able to print this out? And I know that Sam there at Whitey's has a 3D printer because he likes to play with that sort of thing. So I sent him all the files from CAD, all the Fusion files, and got him to print it up for me. So we've got our printed first prototype, I suppose you'd say, which is looking pretty good. While I've been doing this all day, Ryan at Elite Fab Works has been getting very busy with the exhaust setup. He sent me some photos of the exhaust, which is looking awesome. He's finished the dump and the gate and plumbed it back in and stuff, and it's looking freaking wicked. But just looking at how close it is to where this has got to be, I'm thinking after getting the prototype and actually having a look at it in my hands, I'm thinking we should be able to revise this to actually shed some of it, shrink the piece, so instead of being this big, it's only this big and comes back like that sort of deal. Even if we've got to put a cutout like this on this side just so that it clears the actual bracket and everything, but we'll explore that anyway. So that's going to be it for today for me. Alright guys, what's going on? We are here at Elite Fab Works in Aura. So the plan was originally to bring down our intake manifold and our new intercooler that were on their way from Zoo Performance. Unfortunately, we still have no intake manifold and no new intercooler from Zoo Performance. So it's really thrown a spanner in the works. It's been a big problem. I did hit up Zoo yesterday afternoon. I asked if they could just at least send some detailed dimensions of this manifold and some pictures of it potentially on an engine or something, and actually had one of their employees over where they actually manufactured get in his car and drive 2 hours to their manufacturing facility wherever they actually get built so that he could take photos of the throttle body and an intake manifold for us with some measurements. So big shout out to Zoo Performance for actually doing that for us and getting us some dimensions at least to go off. Unfortunately, it's sort of raised more questions than we hoped it would answer as far as the dimensions of this intake manifold. Where it looks like it's going to actually position the throttle body is going to be a big problem. So because of that, and because we don't have it, we're not going to be able to finish the fab work this week. Ryan needs this car gone on Monday, so we're not going to be able to finish the intake charge pipe or anything like that because we won't have all the material here to do it. But lucky for us, Ryan's got a little bit of time early next year, which is around the same time that it should be finished at Whitey's Wiring, getting wired up. So we're hoping that it should work out that after it gets wired, it can come back here with the intake manifold on it, and Ryan can finish the fab work then, because if the intake manifold actually ends up putting the throttle body where we think, or where it looks like it's going to be, it may be in the way of a few other things that we wanted to do today as well. So there's going to be a few little things to finish off when it comes. So anyway, in the meantime, Ryan's been busy getting our dump pipe finished up, and the exhaust all done, and the wastegate and the plumb back, and it's looking freaking awesome. Unfortunately, our prototype shifter gate won't fit because of where the dump pipe ended up having to be routed, but that's why we have prototyping, and that's why we do that sort of thing. So we're going to need to do a few revisions to that to get it to fit in there properly. So there'll be a second revision of the prototype on the way, but yeah, this is looking awesome. So what we've done is we've brought down the 100mm core that we bought from Zoo, because dimensionally, apart from it being a 100mm core, it should be the same as the 75 that's on the way. The mounting points should be in the same point, just obviously they're going to be a little bit different of the offset to the front and back of the cooler because it's a smaller core. So we've pulled out the air conditioning condenser so that we have enough room to offset this, so that we're center of our mounts, so where they need to be for the new cooler, so that we can build some mounts to mount this cooler up. That way at least Ryan can go on with some of the charge piping. You can at least get this side mostly done, and this side we can sort of at least get a bit of an idea of what's going to happen, but we can't finish this side off obviously because there's no intake manifold, and where we think it's going to end up, it's probably going to be in the way of what we wanted to do with this thermostat housing as well. So that's probably going to have to wait as well until we have a intake manifold, but that's how it goes. That's cars. Anyway, boys and girls, here he is, the man himself.
What's going on?
Elite Fab Works, Ryan. The best fab work money can buy in his little shop in Aura. Humble beginnings to what I'm sure is going to be big one day.
Hey, we are rednecks from black butts.
So huge thanks to Ryan for letting us come down and be in his way today to get this intercooler somewhat where it should have to be. And we're just, yeah, got our fingers and toes crossed that when this new cooler and stuff gets here that it's going to be what we think, and that it's going to be dimensionally the same. Otherwise we're going to have to redo everything again. But anyway, that's our fault. We ordered the wrong cooler, so that's all on us. Alright guys, so you can see our holes are made for our intercooler piping and our 100mm core is mounted, and we've mounted it in such a way that, fingers crossed, when the 75 gets here we should be able to just straight up swap this cooler out for the 75, and the condenser will go straight back into the gap where it was, and that should be all sweet and well and good. So now from this point Ryan can continue with his job. This is going, as I think I already talked about in a previous episode, and we've talked to Ryan about making a combined catch can, washer bottle and overflow bottle in this corner up here, up behind the passenger side headlight. So with that done, there's literally nothing else in the bay except for just Ryan's tank that he makes there, and then apart from that the guards will be clean and everything, so that'll be awesome. But again, without being able to do this passenger side charge pipe without the intake manifold, it's another one of those things that's probably just going to have to wait. So at this stage, this charge pipe, finishing off this thermostat and top radiator hose, and building this combined tank is all going to have to wait until it comes back after Christmas now, just because there's not really any way that Ryan can do it confidently, knowing that it's going to be right the first time without having that there. And there's no point in doing it if we're going to have to redo it again anyway. So that is what it is. But you know, it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it, really. When we ordered that manifold, it was meant to be here the end of last month. So we have been chasing it for a bit. It's just unfortunate that, you know, it is a very new product. As far as I'm aware, we will be the first people in the country to have one. So it is a very new thing. They've had to get it past, obviously, manufacturing, QC, doing all that process to get them sort of done to a point where they're happy to actually let them out. So it's just a consequence of it being such a new product. You know, Zoo's been awesome at making sure they've got us everything that we can have, or everything they can get to us to get it happening. But the fact of the matter is that without the intake manifold, there's just no way that we can do it correctly. So it just is what it is. But that's all right. So anyway, that'll be it for us here with Ryan. We've got to go to someone else this afternoon, go make another appointment before we head back to the workshop. But as you can see, Ryan's work is absolutely the best ever. Head to Ryan's Facebook page, Elite Fab Works, Instagram, Facebook. I'll chuck them all in the description and up on the screen here. And yeah, definitely check out his work. It's like an automated robot. It's crazy. All right, guys, so we're back at the workshop today. Had a chat to Ryan this morning. He managed to finish that hot side charge pipe, like the turbo side charge pipe for the intercooler piping yesterday. And had a quick chat to him this morning. And we decided that even the intake pipe off the turbo, we're going to wait until it goes back to him. Because we are putting the high mount alternator kit on it, we sort of want to have the alternator up in its final position for him to build that intake pipe in case it has to go around it in any way or anything like that. So it's one of those things where obviously he could try and do it while it's there, but considering the fact that it's got to go back to him anyway, it's not really worth the risk of it being incorrect. So it's annoying. It basically means that that's as far as the HQ's going while it's at Ryan's at the moment, was just the exhaust and then that one charge pipe, which does seem like a real big waste for it to get towed all the way down there. Ryan only to do that much and then have it towed all the way back. You know, it's about 2 hours away, so it's quite a big tow. And it's really frustrating that that's how it happened, but unfortunately that's just out of our control. There's not really anything we can do about that. And you know, we would rather it be done right with everything where it needs to be. So that is just what it is. Millsy's bringing the car back tomorrow, which is Saturday, which has really turned us on our head as far as our scheduling for work and jobs. That we were sort of hoping that car would be down at Ryan's for 2 weeks, and that's how we scheduled this work. But because of all the running around we've had to do, we've just about lost this whole week, and now it's already coming back, and we've got all this work to get through, and it's just, oh, it's turned us on our head. So anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for watching as always, guys. We hope you enjoyed. Like I said, go check out Ryan's Facebook and Instagram. He does the most incredible work. The photos that he sent me of this charge pipe making me really question whether we should actually even get this powder coated. It's so nice. It's that nice that we almost sort of want to leave it raw to be like a feature of the car because it's just so nice. So anyway, guys, excited to show you that when it gets back here. That'll be in the next episode. Thank you for watching as always. Smash the like, smash subscribe, head to the merch shop, buy yourself something nice, and we'll see you on the next episode. Peace out, see you, bye.